God has limitations. Now, if you're religious, that freaks you out, infuriates you, and makes you mad, and you're concerned that we're throwing everything out that you hold near and dear. If you're hyper intellectual, trying to drive the nail in the coffin of my belief, then you are excited because perhaps you've got the gotcha that slams the door on me and ends my belief system once and for all. It annoys you so much. God cannot force obedience on us and maintain our freedom. It is impossible for God to make me do what he wants and for the integrity of my freedom to maintain and stay in place. I have to be able to do what's wrong. I have to be able to walk away and do what I want, not him, in order to have total freedom. God cannot control what happens in a place of separation from him. In the Bible, it says that the third of the angels made a fascinating decision. Led by Lucifer or Satan, the angels at that time were in the presence of God. They were created in and existed in eternity with God. Well, a third of them decided that disobeying and walking away from him would be preferable. And they reasoned, assuming that they were intelligent, they reasoned that that was a better decision than sticking with God for eternity. Well, there was no place to go if you didn't want to be with God. So God had a decision to make. Either he could snuff out their existence or he could create an option. Well, it makes sense that he could not maintain the integrity of his creation's freedom without an option. If they knew the only option was to be snuffed out, then they weren't truly free. So God created a place of separation. This place of separation was created for the angels that decided they wanted to be somewhere else besides God. There are two places. There's separation from God and there is eternity with God. We have that choice too. Do we want to be in eternity with God or do we want to choose separation? Now, the place is described as a place of torment and a place of fire. But I suppose to you that God created it an empty shell. And what it is the result of its inhabitants. If you and I decide that we have superior management skills and as powerful entities can go to a place of separation from God and turn it into what we want and make it habitable, then we have that choice. And we could choose and reason that that's the decision we want to make. God cannot create indisputable evidence. He cannot make something that proves indisputably anything. We will dispute anything. We can discuss and debate and not agree upon anything left to show us something. He cannot create indisputable evidence. So I would challenge you to prove me otherwise. But creating indisputable evidence is impossible. It's a limitation. And finally, in communicating the entirety and complexity of who he is to us is impossible. And the analogy is us and an ant. With your size, might, and power and intelligence, communicate to an ant how tall you are and see how far you get with that. We know we can guide the ant, we can steer the ant, we can provide for the ant, and we can squish the ant. But we cannot communicate to the ant our size and our entirety. It's impossible. So God has limitations, so sue me. Thanks.